All right. Says we're live. Echo. All right, everybody. This is Drums4U at 2, episode 8. It's 2 a.m. in Cleveland, Ohio, May 19th or May 20th, depending on where you are. And I'm going to start off with the same thing I did last week. Trippy intro. This is Trippy intro 2. So I'm going to play this little masterpiece, and then I'll be back to talk to you guys, see if anybody is hanging out. And that's it. Here we go. Oh, yeah. Trippy intro. All right. There we go. All right, there we go. I know everybody was waiting patiently, anxiously all week for Trippy intro number 2, and there it is, just for you. So, that what was going on there with that loop thing is the other day I just in my DAW, my DAW, which is a digital audio workstation. It's kind of like a what we do to record now that everything's inside of a computer, right? You have your mixing board in there and all your channels and stuff. So this is my DAW over here on the left, taking up a little part of the screen there. So I just used like a pre-recorded loop that comes with the software and then distorted it and did some weird stuff with it. So just thought it'd be fun to play along with. I've been meaning to do something with it, and then I procrastinated. So you got it. All right. So just want to thank everybody who's been so supportive with the comments, the sharing, the tips, the visiting my YouTube channel and my website. All that stuff really helps me out. So thanks. All that stuff's in the description of the video if you're interested in any of that. All right. So I think the next thing I'm going to do is a play along like I've been doing other weeks. And this is, I think I did another one by Rob Brown on an earlier episode. Once again, I've been, telling people on these episodes that I have if you go to Jim Wall Music, all one word, lowercase, on Spotify, I have a playlist called Drum Play-Alongs. So you can go there and it's not my stuff, but all these great people who've made these play-alongs. I tried to accumulate a bunch of them. There's a lot of stuff it's not all inclusive, but there's some good stuff up there. So, go play along with it. This one is by Rob Brown, who's awesome. He's a great drummer. He's on YouTube, Rob Beatdown Brown, demonstrating a lot of cool things if you're into watching drummer videos. And then he's got this is off an album of his called Breakdowns Pocket Builders. So this is just something for people to go in and groove to. With that said, I'm going to try to groove to it. Let me see if anybody's hanging. Nope. I'm so lonely. If you're here, let me know. Otherwise, that's all right. A lot of people will be checking this out on a replay. So I appreciate you being here. I don't expect people to be up all night with me. Last night, I stayed up all night, well, like usual, till 8 in the morning, taking all my little passwords from everything and consolidating it. Anybody ever do that? Like, you have to go through all these little pieces of paper and index cards and put all your passwords, and you're not sure if you changed them or not. So that's what I did all night last night. It was not as cool as being down in the studio, being creative, but once in a while you got to go through the formalities, right? Keep your life organized. Hopefully, when we're all allowed back to work as musicians and stuff, at least all our home things will be organized. Everybody's house will be clean, maybe. So here we go. This is, like I said, Sunset Stroll from the Rob Brown Play Along, Breakdowns Pocket Builders. Here we go. All right, everybody. Once again, that was a Sunset Stroll by Rob Brown. You can go find it on Spotify and jam along yourself if you're a drummer, or check out his version of him playing too. Geez, I don't know if he put his versions on the record, but you can go see him play along with a lot of them on his YouTube videos. All right. Hey, Tyshawn, what's up, dude? Great drummer, Tyshawn White. I miss that guy, man. One of my students back at the Music Settlement. I miss the whole Music Settlement. For those of you who don't know what it is, it's a music school I teach at, and a lot of my friends teach at. It has an amazing jazz program, and a lot of great musicians have come out of there. And we got cut short, like so many schools, because of the virus. And man, I just wish we could all get back together in the same room and make some music. I was having a good time too. Right in the middle of having a good time, this virus came around, right? Anybody else? What's going on in here? Bill Poston, what's up, dude? Good to see you, man. I can see you right through the camera if you don't know. Stop doing that. All right. So that was Sunset Stroll. So next thing I want to talk about is syncopation. We're going to apply it to the drums, obviously, but it really exists in all instruments. Everybody does it. Even when we're speaking, we do it. What syncopation means, what does syncopation mean to you? Well, to me, syncopation is when there's a lot of stuff that's not on the downbeat. So, if we're playing 16th notes, 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and if I play things that are not frequently on the 1, 2, 3, or 4, so a lot of E's, ands, and uhs, then I get syncopation. So this is not syncopated. This is very straight. All right. Now, this is very syncopated. So, fills, for those of you who aren't drummers, fills are, we do two main things as drummers. We play grooves or beats, which is our, right? Those are grooves and beats. And then we play fills, where we leave that, or at least we embellish that. A fill could be just a little, or it could be where you really depart from the groove. Right? Get around the drums a little bit. So, when we play very unsyncopated fills, they can be extremely cool, right? It's not like one is superior to the other, and they can really be perfect for the moment. But when we start to syncopate our fills, they become less predictable, and they create rhythmic tension with the listener, whether they know that they care or not. Their brains and their bodies care about this stuff. It's like dissonance in a movie, when things start to get, you're not sure what's going to happen. Okay, so rhythmic dissonance creates that feeling of uncertainty, which we actually like as listeners. We don't think of it as uncertainty, but that's really what it is. So if I play something like this, it's great, stock. But if I play something more syncopated, right, or the one everybody knows, right, that is that it can just be something to add a little spice, a little bit of tension into the music to keep the listener involved. All right. So syncopation also exists in grooves. It's not just on one drum at a time. And the way we can do that is take where we're used to putting certain things and shift them over. So one of the greatest examples of this is all the James Brown stuff. Go in and listen to the great James Brown drummers. Jebo Starks and Clyde Stubblefield. All the drummers. In fact, there's a book out, I think, by Jim Payne called "Give the Drummer Some," that if you're a drummer is worth checking out. He went in and interviewed a lot of James Brown drummers, and then went on afterwards to interview a lot of just funk drummers from all different schools. Great interviews, and then it has some some written examples as well. You can go to the back and learn some of these grooves. So I think Jim Payne, Give the Drummer Some. That's a good one to check out. So anyhow, if I'm used to having a snare drum on 2 and 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. If I move that a little bit, I'll get some syncopation. So I'll just move it to the and of 4 instead of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 3, 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4 and 2. So I'm moving the bass drum there too. That after that syncopated snare hit, I'm putting an eighth rest or a half a beat rest on 1 the next time around, and then hitting the bass drum on and instead. So that's a little more development of the syncopated style. So that's a 2-bar pattern. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 2, 3, 4. Right? And that kind of is one of the more popular James Brown syncopations. So that's my little talk about syncopation. If anybody has any thoughts or comments, a lot of people are going back to these things when they're no longer live, when they're just sitting on my page. So if you want to get a discussion going about anything with me or just for the general public, go ahead and make comments and nice ones, friendly ones. Say something or ask some questions, and maybe we can keep this thing rolling a little bit where it's not just me dictating information, but we all get some discussions going. We can all learn something, grow a little bit. All right. So the next, one thing I wanted to do also is the thank yous again. Everybody has been extremely cool, but I wanted to give a big shout out to Dave Getz. Dave has been so supportive of me on these presentations I've been doing weekly. For those of you who don't know, and you should, Dave Getz is the drummer for Big Brother and the Holding Company. So not just recently. I mean, he was back there playing with Janis Joplin, at Monterey and all this. He's done a lot of great things. He's been very cool. I did get to hang out at Dave's house one time in San Francisco, and it was super sweet. He's got a nice little pad there, and we went into his drum room and just jammed a little bit. And I like to think of him as a friend. He's a really cool guy. So thank you, Dave. If you happen to see this one too, man, all you're doing means a lot to me, man. It really does. And go check out Dave's stuff too. He's a great artist, painter and such. And he's been posting some videos of himself playing with other people, and also playing some piano, which I didn't know was a skill he had. So Dave Getz, for you who don't know, Getz, right? So did I mess that up? I hope not. I started to doubt myself after the fact. All right, so I'm going to do a little bit of a drum solo, and I think I'm going to put on that weird trippy effect I had for... Where is it? For trippy intro. So this is just a series of effects. There's a reverb on here, but I put it through... a couple of the mics are going through an emulation of a Moog synthesizer. I was messing around today thinking about how we could get weird. And if you're listening to this on a stereo and headphones, you're probably experiencing a little bit of stereo panning. Hopefully that's not making you crazy. It's hard to tell. I try to do a few tests before I start this thing, but if it sounds bad or stupid or something, let me know. All right, so here's a little solo, just based on whatever I hear. I'm going to kind of play things and then listen to what the effects do to it, and then that will kind of guide me into whatever else, wherever it's going to go. All right? Them cymbals are like whippets, right? All right, so even if that's obnoxious on your end, it's still fun. I do recommend, I mean, I like messing around with effects anyhow, so maybe I'm guilty of going overboard there, but it's fun. So if you get a way to put your drums through some effects and just screw around, it can be a little bit inspiring. It makes you at least think of different things that you might have not have played otherwise. So that's that. All right, so I'm not going to do a real long episode today, unless this already was. Oh, Graham, thanks, dude. Appreciate it, man. Saying nice things. Can everybody please jump online and say nice things to me right now? No, I'm just kidding. So, speaking of nice things, I'm going to do drum yoga again in a minute, which, if you didn't see the last episode, is just a way to play like at a certain tempo, get controlled breathing, and maybe even learn how to play a little bit of drums if you're not a drummer, or a little bit about music or rhythm, whatever the case. If you get something out of it, cool. After that, I might play something else. I kind of doubt it. We'll just tune out. But one thing I wanted to say is I don't want to get preachy, and I know I do this every time, but people are really at each other's throats out there, man. People that I love and respect are out there saying, especially on the Book of Faces here, saying some horrible things to each other. People that I know are friends, So there's a lot dividing us with our opinions and stuff. Just keep in mind, once you come out of your holes, you're going to look these people in the face and remember that they were your friends. So I want to propose that we take the 4th of July, and I'm going to control everything that happens on Facebook. So, no, on the 4th of July, what if nobody posted anything political or anything negative? So for the 4th of July, we actually, on Facebook and Twitter or whatever, I'm not on Twitter, but on all this social media, if we found one day where people just stayed away from the divisive stuff and were cool to each other and built each other up, we can go back to fighting again the next day. But I think we could all use a break, man. Nobody's changing anybody's minds, and the more you try to ram your opinions down somebody's throat, probably the more resistant to it they're going to be. So I don't want to get too preachy, but let's lead by example and be cool, and just realize that you don't have to. You're posting some really negative, horrible thing is not going to change anybody's mind, probably. Maybe one person, if you're lucky. I don't know. I know it's hard when you have an opinion not to express it, and I'm guilty. You'll probably see me on Facebook doing exactly what I just said not to do, but I'm really trying. Trying to post things maybe that somewhere in there is a solution and not just complaining about it, problems or differences of opinion. Anyhow, that's enough of that. This is supposed to be about drums. I love you guys, love each other, and that's it. Let's make the 4th of July like the day that nobody is harsh to each other on Facebook. Wouldn't that be neat? I know we can't, that's a pipe dream, but man, it sure would be cool. Everybody needs a break from that. All right, so this is drum yoga. This is part 2. Last week we were at 70 beats per minute. Today I'm just going to kind of estimate I'm not going to put on a click track. But what we did is we played, if we weren't drummers, we played 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and if you're ready to put the bass drum in there, it's on 1 and 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. If you're on the drums, it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, but what we're going to do today is we're going to change it a little bit, and instead of 8th notes, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, we're going to play 16th notes. 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and people who are drummers, we tend to use a thing called the molar method, where we get more than one note per motion. Kind of, we go down and up, and that's a great way to get 16ths faster. But also for this exercise, you just go a little slower, and you don't really need that. You can just go 1 E. So I'm making the same little motion for every stroke, and that's probably kind of good for this drum yoga. It keeps everything nice and even. All right, so what we're going to do is, if we're on the drums, we're going to go 1 E and 2 E and that's how we count 16th notes. 1 E and Okay, 1 E and 2 E and 3 E, and so we're still going to put the bass drum on 1 and 3 and the snare on 2 and 4. 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and if you're not a drummer or if that's too difficult, then just tap it. Just do the hand part. 1 E and 2 E. You don't have to worry about the foot. All right. So here we go. We're going to do a little drum yoga. We're just going to sit on this for a minute. We're going to breathe in for the first 2 bars. I don't know if you saw the last video, but I was trying to talk and take a breath, and I ended up trying to hold my breath for the first out breath. So I'll try not to do that. I'm not sure how, but so we're going to breathe in for the first 2 measures, 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and then out for the next 2. All right? Here we go. I'll keep this open for now. Let your air out and breathe in. And out. In. And out. In. And out. And out. In. And out. I breathe too fast. All right, so there it is, drum yoga. It wasn't very long. You know, hopefully you got the point where, you know, you can, if this is new to you, you could go over that a couple times and then you'll have it and you can just sit and do it as long as you want, right? Find the right tempo where you don't run out of breath, you know, either way. You gotta be a little bit smart about that. Use a metronome, something that clicks and keeps the tempo for you, and then find where it's good for you, all right? So that's it. Is anybody here? All right. Well, not a lot going on here in Facebook land this evening. So I think, I don't know, I feel like just like trying to swing here for a minute. So I'm going to just play a little swing thing. And maybe we should name that tune. Figure out what tune I'm playing. Yeah. All right. So anybody who has a guess, put it in the comments. This is a... well, I'll tell you, it's based on a Duke Ellington song. All right, so we'll see if anybody guesses. All right, nobody yet. So if you watch this later on, see see if you can come up with that one. It was a Duke Ellington song, and it's a little hard on the drums. It seems like the tuning didn't really work out so well with these drums, the way they're tuned right now. But maybe somebody with a very experienced ear will pick that one out. It's a pretty popular tune. All right, so listen, I'm going to roll. Been long enough. I really appreciate those of you who are watching now and those who watch on my page later. Big love to everybody for sure. Thanks for all the help and support. And like I said, if you can go to the YouTube channel, it's all in the description. Go to the YouTube channel and subscribe, or go to visit my webpage. All that stuff helps me out. So that's it. Big love. Be nice to each other. Take care. All right.